Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and I'm here with my friend and fellow coach Anya Grace today.
Hey everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about a really important topic, and that is how to open up and be more vulnerable with men, whether you're single and just dating a new man, or if you're in a relationship and have been with a man for a really long time. I recently did a poll here on my YouTube channel, and the number one thing that people were curious about and wanted to learn more about was how to open up and be more vulnerable with their man or with all men in general. I know how difficult this can be, especially when you're really attracted to a guy and you're starting to develop strong feelings for him, or just that like walking on eggshells feeling like not wanting to mess up and say the wrong thing or scare him off or push him away. We've all been there, and this is really a practice. It's a daily practice. It's like a muscle that you build, just like all of the tools that I teach here on YouTube, in my videos, and also in my programs as well. So I invited Anya on to talk about this topic because she is just such an expert. She's really a master at this. She's just so open and vulnerable and feminine and soft, and I knew that she would have like so much great information to share on this topic. So we just want to make a quick video today on this for you guys. So Anya, what's the first thing you have to say about opening up and expressing yourself authentically with men?
Beautiful. So just those words that you use to describe it, open, authentic, vulnerable, those are all deep feminine energy qualities that powerful men want to be around. So if we're blocking ourselves from being open, then we are actually basically creating a wall between that person and us, and we're not letting intimacy in. And through the body, through our feminine presence, we actually invite the masculine into our life. We invite him into our energetic experience. And as women, we hold really beautiful qualities. We hold beautiful feminine energy experiences. So it's like the energy of compassion and kindness and warmth and love. These are all energies that the masculine presence craves. So by being open, you're actually inviting him into that experience with you. We underestimate how beautiful we are in the world. Like, it's normal for us.
So true.
Right?
It's so true. Yeah.
Like, it's normal,
Absolutely.
especially when we're around our girlfriends. We're just in that feminine flow, and it's just normal. But actually, if you think about what a lot of men are going through on a daily basis, it's a lot of being in the head, it's a lot of being in the purpose, in the outer world, of sort of having to block out the emotions to get things done often. And so actually coming home or coming into the arms of a warm, loving presence is really supportive for that masculine presence in your life to just soften into his truth as well.
Absolutely. It's like this, your feminine energy and your ability to be vulnerable and open up it's very mysterious to a man, very intriguing. And we definitely wanted to give you guys some real life examples here because I know these are big concepts. So of course, type your situation into the comment section and maybe we can go through and answer some questions personally. But for now, I would say one of the number one questions I get from women here, in the comment sections in some of my videos and with the clients that I work with is what to say if a man, around contact, if he hasn't been contacting her as much, or maybe you had a great time with him, but then you went a few days without hearing from him, and then we start to get anxious, right? We go up in our heads. And really, one of the top questions I get from women is, do I say something? Do I bring it up and let him know the impact that had on me? Or do I just lean back and wait and see what he does? And while, of course, every situation is different, we wanted to give you some things that you could possibly say in a situation like that that would be coming from a vulnerable place, rather than making him wrong and activating his defenses, right? And making him feel unsafe around you. So do you hear that as well, Anya, around
all
contact?
The time. And I mean, I've experienced it I think we've all experienced it. It's very normal.
Absolutely.
Dynamic.
Yeah, for sure. So for everyone watching, just imagine that, you had a great time with your man, then he went, a couple days without hearing from him. Likely what's happening with him is that he is he's so single focused, and this is, of course, if he's a good, healthy man who's truly interested, and we're not making excuses for men here, obviously, right? But what happens is, he's like, okay, we had a good connection, now I'm just focused over here, and the passing of time actually occurs differently to men as it does with us, right? 2 days
so
could
funny.
feel like an eternity from us if the guy we like isn't texting, right? But for a man, it's kind of like, okay, we had a great time, now I'm focused over here, and he's not tracking the connection. maybe as closely as we are as women. That's what I found. Have you found that as well?
Totally.
Right? We've all been there.
Way to describe it.
Right? So, okay, so being vulnerable, you could say, well, should I say like, hey, that wasn't okay, just to let you know I need a certain amount of contact and that really hurt me when I didn't hear from you. On one hand, I would say, okay, that's maybe a little more open than just cutting him off and fading into the shadows and saying nothing, right? But something I've been telling a lot of my clients lately is, what is the most vulnerable thing you could say to a man in that moment, right? Like what is it? What impact could you reveal? What impact did he have on you that you could reveal in a way that doesn't make him wrong, doesn't hold him responsible for your feelings? And I'd love to hear anything you have to say on this. The first thing that comes to mind is maybe, wait until you hear from him again, if you're leaning back, and then he will show up again eventually, of course, right? If he's truly interested and if he's the right man for you, you'll hear from him, trust me, right? You'll hear from him typically. And then to say something like, it feels good to hear from you. And, to be honest, I felt a little confused when, not being in contact for a few days after we had such a great time together. Is there something I should know? Or something like that, that's sort of coming from a place of curiosity and giving him the benefit of the doubt. If he truly is just kind of clueless and he got busy, and he's a good guy, of course. If he went cold because he's like punishing you or blaming you, or there's some kind of weird unhealthy dynamic, that's a whole different situation. But just in these normal circumstances, because again, it happens all the time. We hear about it every day from our clients. So what do you have to say about this situation?
I love that. So that's a great thing to do, like at the early stages of a relationship, or you're in a relationship already and you just need to communicate, hey, I need a little bit more contact here that makes me really feel safe. If you have dated a guy, if you've gone on a few dates, if you've gone on between 3 and 6 dates with a guy, and you find that there's this subtle pattern beginning to form where you get together and you have a fun, intimate, close experience, and then it's like almost like each time there's this window where it gets longer and longer that you don't hear from him, that is a pattern that most likely is not going to go away in the relationship. And in that moment, it's actually really powerful to check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this something that's making me feel safe? If I've communicated it and nothing's shifting, then how long am I going to put myself in this situation that doesn't help me feel powerful and safe and expansive? Because, the true masculine presence creates stability and structure and safety. So there's this consistency to the masculine energy that allows the feminine energy to feel safe and to feel free. That's a sort of a non-negotiable that is important to remember. We need that as women. We need to feel that we're not questioning the relationship on a daily basis. That energy is so toxic.
It really is.
I've been in that. I've been in that relationship in the past where it's like I can't focus on anything else because my first need is to feel that intimacy. That's who I am. So if there's question in that relationship and I bring it up and it doesn't, maybe it'll go away for like a moment, but then the pattern continues. That's a sort of relationship to really look at and ask yourself, how long am I going to put myself in this situation? Because the truth is that's actually a style of connection that many men are, they're comfortable there, but it's not necessarily a style of connection that may make you feel safe. There's also tons of men who are able to create a really safe structure. For me, I've learned over many years that that's what I need in relationship. And so now, if I am starting to get those signals that somebody is maybe coming in and then going out and coming in and going out, and there's that confusion, I lose interest because I know that that's not something that's going to work for me long term. So then it's the power of using your voice again and being able to communicate vulnerably. So I like to say that when we really get to know what we need in this way, our voice becomes our greatest healer. Because when we voice our needs, we're actually breaking a pattern. If you've attracted relationships again and again where this guy comes in, you have this high, fun experience, you create that intimacy, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the guy I've been waiting for my whole life. I hear that all the time, but then like a couple weeks later, like something is really not okay, and you reach out to Helena, or you reach out to me, or you reach out for support because you're not feeling safe. If that's a pattern in your life, this is the moment that you get to really check in and be like, all right, am I committed to continuing this, or do I want to actually shift? And then you can use your voice and your vulnerability to communicate essentially, hey, this makes me feel confused. I love that word. And I need in my intimate relationships to feel safe. Like, what makes me feel safe is the consistency and a leaning in energy, because that is what helps me feel stable. And I want to feel free and authentic in my relationships, and that's what I need. I've said to a person in the past that, like, honestly, like, I like you a lot, but I like to feel energy coming toward me like a goddess. Like, I literally kind of made light of it. I was like, I honestly like to feel that energy in a relationship, and I'm not feeling that. So I'm not, I like you, but I'm not actually interested in continuing this because I don't feel like I'm getting my needs met. And, and it's not, you're not trying to change them. You're just sort of showing up, telling them what's authentic to you, and then, does that make sense?
You said something so powerful there. You weren't, the purpose of your vulnerability is not to change a guy's behavior or make him wrong, right? That's where you can always ask yourself, what am I hoping will happen here? And if the answer to that is, well, I'm hoping to get him to contact me more, you have an agenda on a subtle level, and a man can feel that, right? He can feel this energy, and it repels him. It's almost like, oh, what I just can't do. Whatever I do is never enough. I can't make her happy. But if you ask yourself that question, what am I hoping will happen? And the answer is, I just want to express myself, from coming from an empowered place and set that boundary. And I love what you said in that situation, Anya. You were willing to walk away. Like, this isn't going to work for me. Not, this isn't going to work for me, so please change because I'm so attached to you, right? But like, this just isn't going to work for me, so let me know and I'll be moving on. Now, of course, the timing here is really important. If you've been on 1 or 2 dates with a guy and he's doing this, it's like he might, it might be best in that case just to go, okay, he's showing me who he is, and not like lean forward so much with that energy and be like, hey, just to let you know. But if you've been out with him several times, if you're forming a connection, and of course if you're in an exclusive relationship, then it's important to be able to express some of these things, right? You also said something else that was so powerful. That is, if a man's hot and cold back and forth behavior can, when it starts to cause you to get bored and lose interest, now you're really on to something, right? So if you can hook up your feelings of attraction and chemistry with a man's masculine action towards you. Do you like that? Okay, cool. I could feel that you, I don't know if you've never heard me say that before. Yeah, hook up your feelings of chemistry with a man's masculine action towards you. Now, that's the whole thing right there. You won't need us anymore. That's all you need, right? So that's where it's at, and that's what all our tools do for you. Really feeling empowered and so strong and secure within yourself that, when a man comes towards you and he's acting loving and wonderful and consistent, you feel good, and you can start to build intimacy and a real connection and real attraction that lasts over time, right? Doesn't come on strong and then burn out. Often what happens when a man is hot and cold, that can be kind of addicting, or he comes on strong, then he disappears. It stirs something up in us often and causes us to want to lean forward and let him know that's not okay, or reconnect things so we feel okay again within ourselves, right? So you want to make sure that you're feeling steady and consistent and good about yourself regardless of what a man is doing or not doing. And we have so many tools and programs and videos that help you with that. Then when you're coming from an empowered place, you can do anything, right? You can say anything, like those scripts that you gave so beautifully. You can do whatever you want. When you're coming from a place of total confidence, taking responsibility for your own feelings, keeping it all about yourself, then saying, yeah, this is the impact that had on me. I have to be honest, it feels great hearing from you. And when I didn't, when I was expecting a phone call and I didn't get one, I started to feel a little anxious, and that's the effect that had on me. Letting him know that is great. And again, like Anya said, if it's something that's consistent and you are in a relationship or you've been dating this man for a while, something you can say is, how would you like to work this out so this doesn't keep happening, right? So both our needs get met. And then you expressing yourself authentically like that, you want to see what he does, because his response to you doing that is going to give you a lot of information about what kind of partner he is or what kind of partner he will be. how interested he is in taking your feelings into account and those kinds of things. So that's kind of what we wanted to share today. We're going to try and keep this video short if we can. But if you guys are interested in more videos, more scenarios about how to open up and be vulnerable and express yourself in an authentic way that honors you and honors him at the same time, let us know in the comment section. We'd love to create some more videos around this. Anything else you want to say?
Just two last things. One is, I used to think that I could control the feelings that would come up if a guy was pulling away. I knew that was the right thing to do. I knew I needed to, lean back if he was leaning back. I knew that's the advice, right? But remember that your inner guide, your emotions are your guidance system. So if you're trying to just suppress them and be like, stop freaking out, like, I know I need to lean back, that's a really common pattern I see people getting into. They want to do it right, but it's actually not in suppressing your own feelings. It's about becoming aware that this situation is making you feel a certain way, and then over time witnessing and watching, and then using the power of your voice, vulnerability, and communication to take yourself out of a situation that your body is clearly saying this is not safe. So that's
beautiful. Yeah,
I see that so much. Women they know what they need to lean back, but their body is screaming, and when you're ignoring that and suppressing that just to follow these guidelines, you're actually really harming your feminine energy. You're actually suppressing your power. So it's really, your power is in listening here and knowing that you will attract powerful masculine men when you remove yourself out of situations that are not creating that safety for you. And the very last thing is, when you get to that level, you get to the level of uniting your attraction with that masculine energy coming towards you through this process. So if you're in a relationship right now where you're struggling, say thank you to that situation, because this is here to help you learn and grow and heal. And it's through your vulnerability with yourself and your vulnerability through your communication that breaks the pattern. When you get real and you're finally willing to communicate to the person and the universe, really, that this is not something I'm interested in taking part in anymore. I'm going to exit now.
Oh my gosh.
That is what breaks the pattern for good. And that is what I've gone through, and it's just so powerful.
Yeah, I've seen that with 2 different clients this week. I just have to share, that's exactly when you close that door and you say, I had one client where the guy just kept texting and was kind of being personal and intimate over text, and she wasn't really open to having that close of a texting relationship if he wasn't interested in meeting up in person. So, I coached her to let him know that, I would love to meet up in person sometime. I'm not really interested in just having a text buddy. And that guy faded away. He didn't step up, but this guy that she had a crush on for a long time, who would only text her, contacted her that very same day and asked her out. And they went on a date. So it was amazing. Yeah. That just happens over and over. I had another client where they met up once, and he was being really overtly kind of sexual very soon, and she set that boundary and said, I'm not really interested in that, sort of thing. And another guy stepped right in, who was a really calm, consistent, mature, stable energy. It's not someone who started wanting to talk about sex right away over text. So those were 2. This was just within the last 5 days. I've had 2 clients. So you close a door and you set a boundary and you stick to it, which is really important. You're creating space for something else to come in. I also love what you said. Your body and your intuition have all the answers inside of you if you just listen. And that just reminded me, if you're interested in kind of tapping in and activating some of these feminine energy aspects of yourself, like receiving and being open and feeling everything that's going on around you, so you can express yourself vulnerably and be coming from an empowered, whole, healthy place, check out our feminine empowerment system. It's a beautiful program with meditations that Anya recorded so beautifully. I listen to them all the time. They're very helpful for me personally, and some training videos for you guys. I'll include a link to that in the description right below this video if you want to check that out. It's really inexpensive, and we get a lot of great feedback on it. So so thank you so much. This was phenomenal. If you guys want more videos on vulnerability and authenticity, let us know in the comment section. Maybe tell us about your situation. We can create some more videos for you guys. We love hearing from you. I hope this was helpful, and we will see you soon.